Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer stories. We start with this report claiming that Barca are accelerating efforts to sell these two stars, Ferran Torres and Frank Kessie, in order to ensure Vitor Roque's registration this summer as opposed to January next year. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Alex Collado, as it has been reported that the Barcelona's 24-year-old academy graduate in advanced negotiations with La Liga clubs. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona have all but tied up the signing of Vitor Roque finally from Atletico Paranense. As per reports, the Catalans will be shelling out 30 million euros plus 31 million in variables for the signing, with the striker expected to arrive in January 2024 due to financial fair play issues. However, manager Xavi Hernandez hopes to have the 18-year-old at his disposal right away, but that requires the club to make some important sales and clear up room on the wage bill. As such, Javi Miguel of AS is reporting that Barcelona are accelerating their efforts to try and sell the midfielder Frank Kessie and forward Ferran Torres so that they can ensure Vitor Roque's successful registration this summer itself. As per the viability plan approved by La Liga, Barca are currently operating under the 50% rule, hence they must offload two players with a medium or high profile so that they can generate substantial revenue and free up some salary mass for Vitor Roque. The La Liga champions have four players that they could sell to assure that the 18-year-old is registered right away. Eric Garcia, Ansu Fati, Frank Kessie, and Ferran Torres. However, as per the report, Fati is still seen as an asset by those within the club, while Garcia has the confidence of the manager. As such, Barcelona are upping the ante in their efforts to get rid of Frank Kessie and Torres. Both players arrived at the club in 2022 but have been unable to nail down a spot in the starting 11 under Xavi. Frank Kessie is attracting interest from Saudi Arabia and has a tempting offer on the table, but has appeared reluctant to leave despite being told that his minutes will take a further hit this term. As for Ferran Torres, the 23-year-old is on the radars of clubs in the Premier League, and even though he is not in Xavi's plans, the attacker refuses to consider the possibility of an exit. But Barcelona are not sparing any effort to try and offload the pair so that Roque could arrive this summer itself. However, the optimism is not very high at the moment, and everything indicates that the Brazilian could arrive in January 2024. Of course, Vitor Roque was signed officially yesterday. The paperwork was signed and everything now is a done deal. 100%. 100%. Of course, registration have been an issue, not just for Vitor Roque, but for players like Ilkay Gundogan and, Inigo Martinez, who signed earlier last week. And of course, it's really a terrible situation that Barca are going through, unable to register the new signing so far. And it all nails down to the point of players players refusing to leave. But Barca have already outlined the players that they see as out of favor, as we have mentioned earlier, the likes of Ferran Torres, Frank Kessie, Eric Garcia, and of course, Ansu Fati have some of those players that have been highly rumored to an exit, but to no avail. Barcelona are still desperate to try and sell players, especially players like Frank Kessie and Ferran Torres are the two players that, majority of the players or majority of the decision makers in the team or in the club are not in any opposition if they want to sell them. But so far, those players have insisted that they want to stay. And of course, Barca will do all that they can to ensure that their departures are being made. Because if they don't sell, we can't further. In fact, we can't even register the new players. Talk less of buying new ones. So I think Vitor Roque, when he will be announced officially some days to come, he will be the third official signing for Barca after Ilkay Gundogan, Inigo Martinez, and the Brazilian prodigy. But the issue of registration remains a big hurdle that Barcelona need to jump across. And of course, player sales will be very, very necessary to overcome that. I think Xavi have already made it clear to certain players that they will not be part of his plans next season. And it is quite worrying, it is quite disturbing and disappointing that certain players fail to understand what the club is currently going through. Because after all, they say to themselves, I'm not the cause of Barca's problems. I'm not the cause of Barca's brokenness. So whatever is the case, they should sort it out themselves. I still have a contract and I should fulfill my contract. Yeah, they have every right to say so, but certainly they have to understand that the club is above all. So it remains to be seen how the futures of players like Ferran Torres and Kessie will look like in the coming weeks, as Barcelona are really hoping that suitors should come so that they can push them to leave. Then, moving on to the next story of discussion, Alex Collado was once considered the best talent of his generation at La Masia. The youngster was the captain of the Barcelona's B team, and many saw him as the heir to one of the spots in the first team. However, things did not pan out as the youngster anticipated. In January last year, he was sent on loan to Granada, with Xavi Hernandez declaring the player out of his plans. He returned to Catalonia the subsequent summer, but found no sympathy at his former club. In August last year, he moved on loan to Elche, where he has played for the past year. The youngster made 15 appearances with 8 starts for the La Liga side last season, scoring 1 goal and providing 1 assist in the process. Further, he created 3 big chances and averaged 1.3 key passes per game. Collado's contract with the Blaugrana runs until the summer of 2024, and he is currently under the Catalans' direct jurisdiction once again after his loan expired last week. According to a report from Mundo Deportivo, the 24-year-old has multiple offers on the table. He is expected to leave Barca on a free, despite having a year left on his contract, but the club will continue to keep a percentage of any future sale for the star. Of the various parties lying at his doorstep, Real Betis are growing interestingly close to signing Collado. The player is in advanced negotiations with the Seville-based side, and rapid developments can be expected in the weeks to come. Earlier this week, it came to light that the La Masia graduate had tempting offers from Turkish clubs on his table, with Besiktas and Antalyaspor particularly interested. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.